Welcome to Zero Fucks Given. I'm Krista DeLuca. Joined with me today is Carson Block. Are you sleeping?
Wrong preposition again.
What?
Last time, I'm not joined with you. That implies that we're like conjoined twins. Okay.
Okay, with me today.
Okay. Yes.
Is Carson Block.
All right. Is there
and his
anybody else?
sidekick, Freddy Brick. Well, I have to say Carson Block because some of our viewers probably don't recognize you. I mean, you've lost some weight, and people are like, "What?"
Keep being weird and jealous about that. That's cool.
That's
it. It's like 10 days into the new year, and it's all we've heard
2023. I know, it is true.
I think it's not the good kind of jealousy. I think it's the kind where you're trying to drag me down and
I feel very uncomfortable right now being the bigger person out of the two. Whatever.
We can like do math. I work on this with my 5-year-old daughter, right? Like the counting on the fingers. So Freddy, Krista, Carson,
okay.
3 fingers.
Let's just get right into it. God, I hate this. I was so prepared today.
It shows.
I know, right?
It does show.
Right, I am prepared. Hold on. Who are we gonna talk to about?
You know what? As we've been away, why don't we talk about your trip to London to kick things off?
I'm not going to London.
The fuck?
It got canceled.
It got canceled?
Yes, he canceled it. Right?
Everything gets canceled. Everybody gets canceled.
No.
Okay.
I'm
That's terrible. I didn't know that, especially given he was on holiday in the Bahamas recently, right?
Who?
What?
Yeah, dude, you didn't see pictures? Kat sent me some pictures of this guy on holiday. Look, there he is.
Oh my God!
There you are, dude. Yeah, there you are.
Can we show that to our viewers?
Yeah, we can get that for our viewers.
This is what's going on.
And you know what I like?
That guy's
He's a little beefy.
He's a little, heavier than I am, a little fatter than I am.
What I like is he keeps the t-shirt tan. He's so man of the people that even with his like new abs and his like chiseled frame, he's kept the t-shirt tan. So
when you get to your mid-40s, man, you start thinking about, your skin getting leathery
This is what I have to fucking
skin
deal with.
cancer.
youth sports, all that stuff.
That's right, the youth
fucking
sports
day.
tan. You're just trying to drag me down, dude. Like
I'm dragging you down?
Yes, you're just trying to drag me down.
To be fair, we did find
Negative
out
influence.
this week that one of our colleagues, due to concerns about carcinogens, is only washing her hair every other week.
Once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks.
So if you are...
But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part, it's been, I think, over a week since she washed it, and our jaws were on the floor when she told us this. And so, of course, we're expecting that to be a funky-ass bird's nest. Mm-hmm. But so she, through her ponytail in each of our faces.
I wouldn't say she threw it.
Telling
we
us,
asked her, I'm like, I need to
she
smell
said, smell it. And it actually smelled okay. Yeah. Her unwashed hair actually smelled okay. So I'm trying to understand that. I just genuinely don't.
This is what I think. We didn't actually smell her scalp. We just
smelled the pony, but still.
The ponytail. And so she washes her hands and goes like this. And so that's...
So you think she rigged this shit?
Absolutely she
right,
did.
Yeah, because
there's no way.
Yes.
I told her that to Kelly and she just literally she's like, that's disgusting. I don't think she could come to our house now. And I was like, no, she's coming. That's not nice.
So do you think I kind of would be like, oh yeah, that's, I only wash my ball sack once every 2 weeks. And, here.
I was expecting it to smell like
I think what's hard about it is it's probably hard to have like a control sample, whereas with like her armpits, which she says she cleans every other day, you can just have one armpit where you are using deodorant and the other armpit where you're not using deodorant, and you actually have a much better control. Whereas with hair, it's kind of like if you washed it every day for 2 weeks and then you went to not washing it for 2 weeks, but your activities changed and the weather was changing, I feel like that would be a much harder sort of scientific comparison.
But she does shave her armpits, which is gonna clean. That'll clean the armpits.
True.
If she were 10 years younger, she probably wouldn't be shaving her armpits, just given the whole, really crunchy granola. I'm not shaving.
And look, to be clear, if you are a woman and you do want to work here, front office, it is required that you shave your armpits.
if you're
Back
around,
office.
if you're anywhere near me, it's required. You shave your fucking armpits as a woman.
So if I came in
And
and I was
legs.
interviewing and I did an amazing job. And
Yeah,
blah,
you wouldn't
blah,
get
blah,
the job if
and
you
I
had
was just
if you
like
had a
this,
fucking
and
bush
you
on your.
You went for the high five at the end, and there was some.
Would you fucking die?
No, I would. I think
You'd
I
be
would.
like,
I think I
whoa.
would. I think I would cover that up.
Okay, first of all, you do
you,
not
but you'd
cover
be
it
so
up for that
fired.
at all.
Okay,
Even
fine.
when said that yesterday, I shouldn't have said her name.
We'll bleep that out. Yeah. But yeah, no. If you were showing some arm bush, nah, man, I wouldn't hire you because number one, it's disgusting. Number two,
It's disgusting.
It's indicative of other personality flaws, right? Like there would absolutely be things that would come up, starting day 2, I'm sure, that would super fucking annoy me.
I never agree with you, but I totally do in this. Like, there's been on many of match dates, and like 2 or 3, and I've noticed the girl. Well, I was in San Francisco, and the woman had.
Oh, I gotta tell you, that's
And
not
I
just
saw
amongst
this.
your
I
community.
mean, they were like big also, and a lot of them had like Subarus with walking sticks.
Do you remember
That's
the
what
chick with the walking stick?
Yeah,
That
she was
the
like-
worst
She had 2
ever.
walking
insulted
sticks, right?
because what did I do? Well, like she thought
She
I was
wanted to
being
bring
forward.
a chaperone.
No, she
Yeah, she's
wanted
like,
it.
she
She
didn't
wanted
want
the
to
date chaperone.
leave me alone. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I mean, because like
Do you own a mirror?
A friend set you up on this date, so you felt obliged to go.
Totally.
Right, and you showed us a picture. I mean, this is
trying
like
to-
one of the worst looking women I've ever
It's
seen. And then she requests a chaperone because she doesn't trust
Horrible.
you.
I
I'm just
know.
like,
I mean, it was just so.
like,
What is my? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like I often talk about how we live in this inverted
life in
world where
California thus
where down
was
is up,
Total
and this was just another
shit
example.
show.
Where I feel like I'm in like another dimension. I somehow entered this at some point in the past, 10 years. So yeah.
Anyway, let's just dive in.
Okay, so are you done like bagging on me?
No, that's going to be throughout.
Okay, that's.
I mean, come on, Carson. You don't even drink anymore.
Yeah, but
You're
I
like
mean,
watching your carbs. You're watching everything. It's becoming.
I gotta
Yeah,
tell
but
you,
you're
though,
the only-
it's a
you're-
lot better.
Anorexia.
listen,
No.
you're the only one
Here.
dressed like a pilgrim.
Dude, it's a lot
us.
better than when he quit
Until
coffee.
now. Until now.
Dude,
That's
when
the
he
best
quit
you've done.
coffee.
Okay. All right, listen, Pilgrim Pride. You're not going to be
He's
alone here.
completed.
I've got my lace
gotta tell you,
doilies
this
to
is
match your
matching.
blouse here.
That's
So yeah,
nice.
it is.
Can I just tell you something? This is the best you've ever looked. You should do interviews like this. Bloomberg,
Yeah.
everything.
All right. All right.
This is a great.
So are we Amish? We pilgrims? What are we?
You know what? This is flattery right here. Right
Imitation is the
here. It is.
the sincerest
It
form.
is.
Yeah, no doubt.
I actually like that better.
I mean,
The charcoal gray with the white and the doilies.
pops.
Really
It
pops.
pops.
Guys,
Yeah.
let's go easy on the Amish. I think they might represent anywhere between 18 and 24% of our current viewers. So, we're big fans of the Amish.
That's
I love
probably
Amish.
provably false because I don't think can they use the internet or
No,
when
actually,
they're on
they-
Rumspringa.
I don't even know
What?
what.
When they have that year off before they go and do anything.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
telling
like
you, man.
the Amish Freak
Yeah.
Fest. Yeah.
Rumspringa.
As you guys are discussing that, let's just dive in and go and start with George Santos admits to. I mean, this is kind of old news now.
But there's new shit from him every day, right?
Single day. So, is there anything that's true?
Okay, so
Where should
what
we
I
go?
think's great about this is
I have my own. Yeah,
you actually did work for Citigroup.
I did.
George Santos did not. You are probably more qualified to be a Republican in office than George Santos at the moment. What I think is
I thought
ironic.
he lied and he said, wait a minute. I thought he.
Well,
he
what,
said,
what are you assuming
I
the
thought he
standards
worked-
to be a Republican office holder are?
They're pretty low. But I thought he said.
They might not be what they used to be.
I thought he worked. He said he worked at Goldman Sachs. Am I
So he
totally wrong?
claimed he worked at both
And City. So he
Goldman and Citi.
and then he went to Goldman, then he went to Slum It at City, but neither was true.
Yeah, which is ironic because
Slum it at City.
most politicians are trying to distance themselves from the Wall Street elite and appear like everyman. So not only did
Not
he kind
this
of
guy.
fuck that up, but in addition, It was something. So I listened to a podcast on the New York Times journalists, and it wasn't like they were going out there to be like, this is going to be some great story. They really stumbled on this by accident. So first they came across this charity that he claims to have established, which clearly once they started to peel behind the onion, they were like, okay, there's some real issues here. And they were kind of like, all right, fuck it, on a whim. Let's see if he actually worked for any of these firms. And they're like, no, we can't find any.
But the crazy thing is, when you think about this, he defeated an incumbent congressperson, an incumbent Democrat. How in the fuck did this guy not do any opposition research on George Santos? Like, how is it only that after the election, the New York Times digs this out? I mean, what? Just, I mean, this dude must have been sleepwalking through his re-election campaign. I mean, to honestly leave this completely.
Or sleeping with the guy.
But we're not even sure he's gay. Like, that's not even.
Yes, he did. I did. First of all, he's like, people change. I was married to a woman, and then he's like, and now I'm 100%
Well, was he
gay.
a woman and was he married to himself and now he's a man?
Well, this is what he
said. The other thing
like,
that's interesting is they found out
change.
like
he was gay as
so he also like claimed to have been like pretty financially secure, and it turns out he was borrowing money from his friends.
Oh, I mean, he had like several evictions. And so somehow he loaned $700,000 to his campaign.
Yes.
So pretty clearly somebody has been making illegal campaign contributions.
Yes.
And so it'll be interesting to see where that investigation goes. But yeah, I mean, what could be more 2023 or 2022 than this guy getting elected with nothing is true. And yeah, he's probably transactionally gay. Like
100%.
They used to have that category, some of the gay porn actors are gay for pay.
Yeah.
You know, like this dude's like gay for pay too. You know, they weren't valedictorians.
This guy.
I mean, look, what could be more 2022 than that? I don't know.
It's so funny. Like,
I think
I thought Herschel Walker was really bad because that guy was just...
is really bad.
I mean, if Herschel Walker could lie as well as George Santos, he would have won.
Yeah. What's sad is he was really, really close to winning. He was, I think. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, a couple of percentage points.
At?
You know,
I also
the state of American democracy.
What am I laughing at? The fact that he still has those things on.
I mean, I want to be taken as seriously as we take Krista when she wears those
take me seriously.
Lace doily
I
blouses.
used to be a cop. Why do you think I'm kidding? I went to the Herschel Walker Police Academy.
You got to pull out a badge. Do you have the badge?
I do have a badge right here.
All right, let's
like
pull this
everybody fucking look at that.
All right.
Here.
Oh, nice.
You cannot.
You should wear it.
I should wear it.
Can
You're wearing yours.
Yeah.
Although that was in my
put that around.
back.
It says
whatever.
Integrity, justice, and honor.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Should we keep on going about him or?
Nah, it's like you said, it's old news. I don't think we've added substantially to the body of knowledge on that guy. We're here to break news, not rehash.
What about Ryan Cohen being a shitbag?
Well, that's a continuation, but I think you flagged the other day on Twitter how Bed Bath & Beyond's 2024 bond is now trading as a teenager.
It's probably recovered some, but yeah, it had this big puke the day that they announced that they published a going concern statement. So the bond puked, and they had spent, I think, over $1 billion on share buybacks after Ryan Cohen went activist on them, and he pushed for those share buybacks. So of course Ryan Cohen is Audi 5, like from the stock, and that's something we talked about a little bit last year. How it's questionable as to whether he was aware. Well, he refiled or he filed some long overdue filings in his ownership. Bunch of retail people who don't know what the fuck's going on. bought the stock. It's squeezed. He rains stock down on them. So he gets out at this great price. And then the next day, the company announces, or it's Bloomberg breaks that they've hired restructuring advisors. And Cohen had, I think, nominated 2 people to the board. So, yeah, did you know that when you dump stock like that? And then, of course, after we talked about this and, we shed light on this, under the scrutiny, the CFO of the company jumped out the window of his apartment. So that was, obviously sad and tragic, but a testament to our ability to break news, clearly.
Yeah, and look, warning, if you are sensitive, switch off now before I make a somewhat distasteful joke. Do you think it is more dangerous this year, 2023, to be in the C-suite of a company that Ryan Cohen is involved in, or to be a general under Vladimir Putin?
That's a good question.
You know what? We're going to find out at the end of the year. Carry on watching again if you are sensitive. Anyways.
Now, actually, I think the CFO, I think he was gay, but like for real. Not George Santos gay. I think really gay.
George Santos is gay.
He's not gay. He's just.
I swear to God.
He's gay for pay. He's gay for pay.
He's gay. He didn't also change like he said. People change. No, dude. He was gay when he was married to a woman. He was gay.
I don't know.
It's all good. It's fine. Anywho, all right, what do we got next? I like this. The story about the man introducing the sex doll to his mom.
Right, so this was a New York Post story. There's actually many facets to this. So firstly, he's, of course, an Australian male. So we both know that it starts off with how he was lonely.
COVID happened.
Right, orders this sex doll. I mean, what's clearly missing is the months spent pondering / practicing bestiality. I mean, that's clearly the subtle subtext
woman,
here.
Right? Who he married.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he goes straight from that, allegedly, to cure his loneliness, direct to sex doll. So he finds
A beautiful.
I gotta say, as far as sex dolls go, and we have
like
perused the internet because we've looked at sending them.
Sex dolls. It's like there's such a thing.
It really was
I'm
a
like,
nice
my
one.
God, why don't I have one of these?
It's kind of funny. I've met like a number of strippers who are named Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche.
Yeah.
So he finally spends enough time with the sex doll to be like, well, it's brought me so much joy, I should introduce it to my mother. The mother, of course, doesn't like the sex doll. I don't think the objection was actually
Wait, she doesn't? That's not what I read.
Initially, it says that the mother did not like the sex doll.
So,
three months later, she's like buying outfits for it.
Was she? Well, I was going to ask. Was she dressed appropriately when introduced? Was the mother's issue with
That's a very
distasteful clothing, or
the only
they didn't touch into that.
The only picture that I have of it is
of
where I gotta say, the only pitch you have is Karina.
Why didn't I have a sex doll?
And I gotta say, her tits are hanging out, and she's got some little
that's the
booty.
sex doll?
I don't know if that's the exact sex doll.
That's a real person. Is that the mother?
Dude, no, that's a sex doll, dude.
I mean, dude, if
that's a sex doll.
If that's the mother, I'd take
that's a sex
down
doll. That's definitely a sex doll. There's no way that's the real one.
Why do you say that?
Look, I'm telling you, that's the
eyes are a little
doll.
vacant.
Let me see. That's just
he's
saying. I didn't see this picture.
This dude. Yeah, I mean,
this dude.
How old's this guy's mother? I mean, she's got to be like, 1.5 feet in the grave.
Yeah, I think she's in her 80s.
This dude looks like George Santos' boyfriend. That's who that looks like. And this girl. Oh yeah,
that dude looks like if you want something smooth and young, it's gonna have to.
She's a little. I wouldn't say.
It's gonna have to be not alive.
Where do you think she's from?
It's sort of racially ambiguous, actually. I think what I like about this most is that mothers and sons have that thing where often they kind of don't like the girlfriend because it's like, it's taking my son away, and like the mother still fills that with a sex doll. It's. Because eventually she kind of warms up to the sex doll, as you said, and it's like, within 3 weeks she was buying the sex doll jewelry and clothing.
Then he got a sister.
I mean, look.
No, that's the best bit. This degenerate fucker, a few months after, is like looking at her and he's like, I can do better than you. So he trades her in for another sex doll, right?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Question is, do you have to kind of like have a traditional affair? Do you kind of creep around still? And like first you start seeing the sex doll at hotels and kind of motels, or do you just be like, look, she's in the corner, I'll turn her around.
I mean,
she
I know
can't
you're
do shit
joking
about
this, but there's a whole world out there of people who are into sex dolls.
Right, but do they form emotional bonds? Clearly.
Supposedly, yes.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, it's carryover from childhood when you've got, your stuffed animals and shit, I guess.
Whoa, buddy.
Whoa.
Oh.
Well, you certainly seem to know a lot about attraction to sex dolls, so why don't you take us through that? I mean, look, whatever keeps you and this guy away from playgrounds, I'm all for it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh.
Anyway, should we do the Stanford list? Which one of you guys? Who did you bring that up?
No,
I brought that up, but
That's so good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Stanford late last year, the office of the chief information officer, along with some, I think it's BIPOC Student Association, came up with a list of words that should not be used and should be scrubbed from all websites affiliated with the university. So university departments, university clubs, and some of these words. And so they categorize them in terms of how they are offensive. So there's the ableist category. So now, according to this list, you should not say lame, should not say dumb. So then they provide suggestions. Consider instead boring or uncool is one, but yeah, I mean there are like so many things.
Tons.
Yeah, you do you have this pulled up right here? So
well, but this is from the Daily Mail, so this is not,
I mean it's accurate.
All I know is, how how I call you Karen? I can't even do that. No, I'm serious.
Karen's on the list.
It's on the list. I swear to God.
Which I thought Karen was something that woke people would say as a criticism.
To replace it was demanding an entitled white woman. That's clearly what you are. But while child prostitute could be changed to child who has been trafficked.
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 Trafficked. Do you ever stop at the trafficked lights on the way to work?
But they go on and on.
No,
Grandfather, swap, legacy.
Right. Oh,
guru.
yeah, right. Also, I think Field, I read today, Field, some other USC, my alma mater, the School of Social Work is no longer going to use the word field.
As in like
American, you have to say
field.
U.S. citizen.
A field of study or
white space.
play
You have to
ball
say
in the field.
empty space.
What is it you're supposed to use?
Reason prostitute, person who engages in sex work.
I mean, like that's replacing one word with 8. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
But anyway.
I mean, it goes on and on and on.
But I don't think this goes far enough. I really don't. I mean, I feel that it is narrow, like offensively narrow to focus on things that are ableist, racist. We have a major problem. Not just our society, all societies on this planet, in that we are solar systemicist. How the fuck are intelligent creatures on other planets in other solar systems supposed to feel when they hear that we call our star, one of hundreds of billions or trillions in the universe, the sun? That is very derogatory because it implies that there is no star that is as important. And I really think that we're hurting some feelings there. By the time all of these television radio waves that we shoot off into space arrive there are going to be some very demeaned aliens who are probably just not going to achieve their full potential because of the violence done to them by these words, these genocidal words.
Clearly.
By the way, Krista's a flat earther, right?
What?
She's not big on the sun and the whole solar thing. She's like, you're a flat earther, right?
No, I'm not.
But even flat earthers, are guilty of this,
I'm not.
right? They still acknowledge there's a solar system, although they think Earth is at the center of it. which is even
'Cause we
worse.
Out of curiosity, I mean, what percentage? So we were having a tangential discussion at lunch, and I won't go into the particulars of it, but what percentage of Americans do you think are flat earthers?
Isn't there? I feel like there's a movie or whatever. Who told me about?
Oh,
Scott
Don't
did.
Look Up. That was very funny.
Scott told me about
That was
this.
actually kind of funny. It was
Oh,
out
okay.
like
I
last
didn't
year.
see it.
But out of curiosity, I mean, I have no idea. But
well,
what percentage of Americans do you think are flat earthers?
Depends on what day you ask me, man. I mean,
More than 5%?
do you know the answer?
No,
Is there-
I don't.
oh.
We were so the conversation we were having at
This
lunch
had to
was
be with Rob.
yes. The conversation we were having at lunch is: do more Americans believe that George Bush, when he was in the Skull and Crossbones Club, masturbated in front of his father, or do more Americans believe that
did that
Hillary
come from?
Clinton drinks
Frazzle drip.
frazzle drips and drinks adrenochrome? And I was like, I bet you more Americans believe that Hillary Clinton drains the blood of children and drinks the adrenochrome than probably, like, it might be true that George Bush masturbated.
Well, but it
in
wasn't.
front
It
of
wasn't
father.
just Hillary Clinton. It was also with that her former aide who was married to
yeah.
Anthony
Yeah.
Weiner.
Yeah.
So when you consider that she was married to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
and she stayed with him after some of that shit broke,
Yeah.
True.
it does lend some credence to this whole thing.
Okay. So anyway, open questions to what percentage of
She got
Americans.
married to someone famous, right? Am I totally making this
She
up?
might have.
Yeah,
She was
Yeah.
kind of hot.
she was pretty.
Yeah.
She reminds me of George Clooney's wife for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it was
But every
her
time I
sister.
think of Kyrie Irving, like I want to get a pair of Kyrie Irvings, except I don't want to have to pay for them and kind of remunerate the guy. But I think it'd be great to kind of cut the toe areas around and just make them into pancakes, like the Kyrie flat earths.
Anyways, Nike cut him, right, in the end?
Yeah, actually. So
Yeah. But he's still playing okay, it seems. So
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't
don't-
care. I mean, he's
What do you pay attention to?
absolutely too stupid to matter.
we're actually paying attention to the
We're paying attention to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this big list.
like the fullest list
Well,
ever.
I always pay attention.
Right.
Really, I could read and speak. And anywho, your knee, your bony knees in the way.
Let's go
I
up.
can't
Let's go with number 5 there.
I knew
Okay.
it.
Chinese-
Get ready to sleep. Go ahead.
No, we're waiting for you to make the big contribution.
I've been making plenty.
Chinese equities, great start to the year.
This is all you.
What do you,
Dying.
what
to...
do you think?
No, don't ask me about this one. Ask Mr.
I mean, you're going on
British
7
guy.
years working here. What do you think of Chinese equities?
Dude, come on. I want to have a nice night here. Okay?
You formed no opinion after 7 years.
Nothing. Go
So
ahead.
I think I know what happened. Chinese equities bottomed as that headline came out that Tiger Global were cutting exposure to China. And that was like the
2023
absolute kiss
Tiger
of death. I mean,
Global.
them not being long your stock is almost as good as like saying it's a great buy and that the management team are awesome on Twitter. I mean, that's like how good of a reverse indicator it is.
Okay, now.
I just would like to say something. Why is it that every time we have a show,
Hang on. No,
Tiger- well-
hang on. We're going to bleep that out.
Okay.
Instead, we're going to refer only to the insane and jealous failed former short seller. Okay?
Okay.
So, we'll have that bleeped. So, insane and jealous failed former short seller.
Yeah, so once again there is a battery company
Who, by the way, lost a lot of weight himself.
through lap band surgery.
Yes, he had lap band surgery, though. So,
But he doesn't have the balls to wear this outfit. I'm
no.
just saying.
Well, when you're insane and, you
you're
you
a little
have
crazy,
balls
too.
to claim things like the earth is flat and, all kinds of other completely made up bullshit. But anyway, yeah, he
Made up
lost
bullshit.
weight with lap band surgery, and that was a big step, right? Because a lot of people make fun of that, but he was courageous.
Who
And
makes fun of it?
A lot
Like
of
people who get chin implants? Is that what you mean?
I don't know about that.
Anyway, so yeah, it had us thinking. There was there was that group who did the reverse arc like the short arc thing.
Right.
And then, I mean, these guys are really smart. They've, part of getting in traction with an ETF is kind of promoting it. And so they've gone from reverse arc to reverse Kramer, which is a great idea because it's like well known that, Kramer's promoting all kinds of garbage. And we think that the jealous former
Insane
short seller,
and jealous.
insane and jealous
Failed
former
short
which is a
seller.
bit of a mouthful for an ETF. But we think people who are looking...
It's kind of like the Stanford list.
True.
So we're replacing something short with something long and complex. But in this case, more descriptive.
More descriptive. And it'll be a great risk management tool for anyone who wants to be in business for about sort of 12 months.
Not even.
No, not even.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of things that are slimmed down and back from the dead, Olam Agri.
Yeah. Wow. So they're going to IPO in Sing and Saudi. Yeah?
And Saudi.
That's not what I had on my bingo card ever, but...
No, and I'm not entirely sure which part of the business it is. I mean, is it the part where... Because I remember there was a great picture in the report of the flooded... Is it the rice field?
Well, all right, so we have to go back
Right.
here, right? 2012, Muddy Waters published a report, initiated a campaign on Olam, which was then listed in Singapore. Temasek, the Singaporean sovereign wealth fund, was the largest outside shareholder. And within a week, Temasek had bailed out Olam within, I think, a week of our going public with this. And there were all kinds of funky-ass things in the accounts. So one of the things, they were taking biological gains, so booking income from biogains. Ordinarily, let's say you plant something that's a crop that you can sell. And so as it grows and it gets closer to harvesting, then under certain accounting rules, you may take biological gains. It's like, okay, the sunflower is closer to generating seeds, so I'm going to take a biogain. But they took biogains on office furniture. I shit you not. That's what it said in the schedule of their report.
How did you find out about that?
Just look in the fucking annual, which
doing
nobody does that. But.
Doing what none of the holders of the stock did. It's called reading.
Ooh,
One has to get past the pictures.
what the hell's that?
Yeah, exactly. There are lots of like glossy pictures, and these guys were
like pictures.
huge on claiming. It was before ESG was the term. It was CSR, I think, corporate social responsibility. So they were huge on claiming, like, so we buy from these individual farmers in Africa, and we don't beat them up on price. We want them to do well. It's all bullshit. They were involved in
they beat them up on other shit. I mean, it's just physical.
Yeah, illegal logging in the DRC, like some of the oldest growth forests in the world, which generated the idea for one of our original venture ideas, actually, which was for old growth forest products. So basically, what the idea here is to cut down some of the oldest trees on Earth and make them into new products, such as matchsticks. So, when you've had a bad day, you can just, light them for no reason. Sawdust for cowboy bars.
So to cut down
toothpicks.
the oldest, I thought that was like illegal.
Well, I mean, when the enforcement authorities, the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo, I'm not...
Everything's legal for a price there, Krista.
Yeah, I'm not... I mean, they're not the ones who said it's illegal to cut this forest down. It was like the UN. So I think you can imagine what these guys, their attitude
It's like
toward the
one
UN
dude
is.
in a blue helmet with a slingshot, like policing it as a genocide's happening. And he's like, "Whoa, I'm gonna fucking pull it." Just
No, because he's busy raping local, like refugee women.
True.
'Cause that's kind of the big thing for the UN peacekeepers.
That was a big thing, right?
Still probably is a big thing for UN peacekeepers. At least when you get them around the refugees.
Right.
So anyway, like that's one of the things they did. Then they had this processing plant in Mozambique, I think for pistachios, and they didn't even have bathroom facilities. So the workers were taking dumps on these railroad tracks outside, like that actually where trains would come by. Unclear as to whether that went really badly for any of the dumping workers. I mean, that would kind of suck if you had one of those clingers. You know? But maybe like the upside of being in Mozambique is that, you know, you're probably saddled with indigestion like 98% of the time. So you're just like, and you know, you're gone. So probably can avoid the train as long as there's not like a bend right near you. But yeah, no, they plowed over villages in Vietnam to plant coffee plantations. So, you know, they were anything but CSR. So it's good to see that 11 years later, you know, so Temasek effectively took them private. I mean, they tendered for stock. There was a small amount of stock, just enough that they weren't required to mandatorily acquire.
Yeah, I think they left it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at this in a long time. And it's just when you sent me this headline about the agribusiness going public, which, like you said, I'm not sure what the agribusiness was. Maybe it's the office furniture side of the business or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Singapore's market is whatever. It's still effectively owned by Temasek, so that makes sense. But, you know, but the secondary listing being in fucking Saudi, I mean, that's, what does that say?
It says that like the human rights weren't bad enough for them to list in Qatar. They cleaned up their act, so they couldn't get it listed in Qatar. They had to go with Saudi.
Do you think Saudi's better on human rights than Qatar?
No, they just have more oil and buy more weapons.
Exactly.
I think that's why our perception of Saudi is slightly better.
I don't know. Well, mine is not. 15 of the 19, Saudi.
That's true.
Saudi intel, it's clear now, had some role in preparing for 9/11, assisting the hijackers. So, you know, like that's the kind of shit that nobody in Silicon Valley wants to talk about. So that's why Massa made himself so useful, because he was sort of like that money laundromat in a way until guys from Silicon Valley were ready to drop to their knees and just forget the whole 9/11.
He was basically, he was just a beard to make it all a little bit more respectful, basically.
Yep, exactly. Until guys in the Valley went full whore and just didn't care. So.
Well, I got to tell you, I still do like that the biggest check I think they wrote was probably WeWork, so it all indirectly ended up in Israeli's pocket. I think that's fucking awesome.
Right, yeah. The American Rent 24.
Yes. What else we got to talk about, Krista?
I would like to talk about the bank executive accused of urinating on an airline passenger.
Oh, I missed this.
You gave it to us.
No, did I?
Yeah. This was a person from Wells Fargo who got also...
Wells Fargo, India.
Wells Fargo, India.
I think you sent this. I don't think I got this one.
One of you
I
did.
think you sent it.
Why didn't you talk about it?
Were you high the other night, or?
This was just added, so I looked.
Freddy sent it. So anyway, the article was about an Indian executive from Wells Fargo who's on an Air India flight. I think it was international, but it was going to Delhi. From New York.
Yes.
Okay, to Delhi. And so he was sitting next to a woman who was, I think, in her 60s or 70s. Thank you. Jeez, man,
I'm on it.
Got a mind like a steel trap.
Go ahead. Because his father was trying to defend him and was like, it was a long flight and the woman was old. I'm like, what?
So yeah, he evidently pulled his dick out and pissed on this woman.
Was he in the middle?
It was in business class.
It's in business class.
So he's
probably like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
He was like, I think
pretty much.
Shit-faced, right?
I don't know. They didn't say, but it's.
I thought he was inebriated. The woman said.
But this is. Let's see how many years. That I think that
and
is almost.
Fargo, India.
That's almost 30 years since the anniversary of Gerard Finneran on an American Airlines flight. I think we talked about this on a prior podcast. So this dude Gerard Finneran, he was a portfolio manager for Trust Company of the West. Mm-hmm. So he was managing I think he oversaw all of their LATAM portfolios. So he was flying back from Buenos Aires, I think, to Miami on American, and he was fucking loaded. I mean, just hammered. And the president of Argentina, I think, was on the flight. And so he was sitting in first class. And so the bodyguards...
It's amazing they could afford it back then.
Yeah, I know, right? So the bodyguards were blocking off one of the bathrooms. It's, for the royal bathroom for the president or something. And then one of the other first-class bathrooms was taken up. And so they had already stopped serving this guy alcohol because he was just too fucked up. So he goes to the galley, and he was not that young a dude. He got up on the galley cart, took his pants off, squatted, and shit on the galley cart. Took the linen napkins, like this is in the media coverage, wiped himself with the linen napkins, then tracked feces throughout the cabin.
No way.
So they had to end all food and beverage service for the entire fucking plane. And they tried to land in Puerto Rico, or they wanted to land in Puerto Rico, so they actually, I think this was going a lot. I think this was going further than Miami actually. And they couldn't land in PR because PR didn't have the adequate security facilities for the VIP, being the president of Argentina, on the fucking plane.
So crazy.
Yeah. So now it turns out he died not that many years later of Alzheimer's. So, that might have had, that makes it okay. But anyway.
What if
anyway,
that's really demented. I don't even know if that was like someone being...
Yeah, but he probably had like 15 drinks beforehand.
I mean, he had a lot to drink. So anyway, it's almost 30 years later, and this guy's keeping this Indian Wells Fargo exec's keeping the torch alive. So, got to hand it to him.
To be fair, it's the best story I've read about Wells Fargo in the news in the last decade.
That's why I thought you sent it. I know either one of you sent it.
I don't know.
Freddie sent it.
Freddie sent it.
And he was busy pissing on somebody himself.
Fargo. But the father defending, he's like,
well, the airline initially wouldn't press charges. So that's the thing. It was up to them to press charges because of however India works, right? So they were. So the airline. The
airline demanding apology. And
they told the woman. They said, well, what? He will apologize to. They made him. They made him go up to her on the flight while she's sitting. They gave her pajamas, but they refused to switch her seat. And so I think she's sitting next to the guy still, but they made the guy apologize to her, which, I mean, fair enough. Haven't you ever pissed on somebody?
Yeah, wasn't he crying
sitting next
and
to
everything?
Yeah, maybe. And then, but they didn't, but at the end of the day, Air India didn't want to do anything about this because they didn't want to embarrass his family name. No shit. That's what it said in the article.
Really?
Yeah. So they waited, and then she eventually
where did
was
you
like,
read? I read the New York Post. What were you reading?
The New York Post. I just read it a little further down than you did.
Oh. No, after the father was like, what do you want? The woman was 72. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? she's...
I mean, she won't have to sit in those clothes for much longer.
72
I guess his
now?
hope was he pissed on her. She woke up and he's like, oh, you're disgusting. You wake us up while you're asleep. I guess that was the thinking if he was thinking.
She grabbed my cock and then she pissed herself.
Something like that. I don't know, but the whole thing.
To finish, I want to talk about something uplifting and cool. So finally...
Do we have to finish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So finally, it sounds like you traded in the car that Andrew left described as a mum-mobile or something, the Porsche.
But you haven't done it. You haven't done it yet, right?
It's in process, but no, I haven't traded it in yet.
Okay, so
it's in process.
It's in process. You've got another Porsche, a cooler one. But the question is, should you be getting something even more exotic? Because today, I saw probably the only cool thing the Taliban have ever done. They've created their own supercar. I think it is modeled on a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Well, no, the engine.
Right.
So the engine's a Corolla engine, but they're calling it the Mazda 9.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's the supercar.
But I gotta tell you, what I like about it so much.
And the pictures are kind of cool.
The pictures are really cool.
It does look like the Batmobile, exactly.
Totally.
They totally ripped that shit off.
Beamer, Benz, Bentley. Beamer, Benz, Bentley. Beamer, Benz, Bentley. You're scheming, don't affect me. I'm fresh, I'm fly, I'm so damn high. More than 500 horses when I roll by.
And I kind of think it's the answer to everything that Tesla is. It's created by a bunch of heathen shitheads It definitely doesn't have a battery because I don't think there are any batteries in Afghanistan, full stop.
Yeah, like no one has seen, like there's only pictures. There's no video of it moving.
Right. So it probably is, unlike the Cybertruck, which like doesn't
kinda like
exist
a
and there's
fake-
lots of cool videos of.
Yeah.
This actually exists and there are no videos
No
of
videos.
it.
Well,
I
and
had to pull this up.
I
because-
think that this will do something to really elevate truth in advertising, because when they talk about the horsepower with this, they literally mean
It's gonna be full.
horsepower. And no, but I was also thinking, you know, what would be great is with the with the cruise control, or like the adaptive cruise control, they should set it so that if there actually is a highway in Afghanistan and you can get on it, so that it talks to you in a female voice. Because then I want to see these motherfuckers like freak out and like start shooting the dashboard while they're on the highway, because women shouldn't be driving.
So
So here's the before picture, which I think is so funny, and then it's afterwards. It's
Right.
like this fucking like.
what I also like is the awful
But this is-
photoshopping of like.
I mean, like, yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is it before.
So look, I
just love the whole
I'm
thing.
kind of curious. I do wonder what kind of financing package that comes with. I'm interested in putting my name down for one. I do think it looks cool. Look, the great thing is it's actually a Toyota Corolla engine, so you know it's going to be a lot more reliable than most Italian sports cars. And like, you know, also the other cool thing is like no one else is going to have one.
No
like
one
that's
else is
the
gonna have
really cool thing. So.
Because it's not really a car that
So
can move.
should I have waited? Is that what you're saying?
Obviously.
I think you should have waited.
should have waited.
So look, I'm gonna make inquiries. See if I can get
It's a
myself
stupid decision on your part.
a Taliban supercar. And look, I think the other cool thing is I bet the options in that are fucking kick-ass. Like many years ago, we discussed the Dictator package for like the Rolls Royce. I bet you could get all of the kind of horrible things that we wanted in the car, like the
actual human skin upholstery.
human skin upholstery, the hands of for the foot pedals, you could have the hands of
lucite encased hands saying like "Don't shoot." you know, and,
I bet you can get all kinds of awesome
buttons
options
that
for
are made out of actual teeth. Well, actually, dentistry is probably not a strong suit in
There.
No.
in Afghanistan. So I don't
They drink,
know
a lot,
that.
well,
I-
they drink a lot of tea
I don't
with sugar in.
in England dentistry. Yeah,
England, they don't care about.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we'd want Afghani or British teeth used for the buttons in this car.
So yeah, I think that's a real sign of promise in Afghanistan that they can, that they're really spending their time and effort not on women's educational roads, but on a functioning supercar. In many ways,
don't
it's a
you
lot like
remember-
Italy.
Were you drunk when you wrote me this? You were like, oh, they have like if the women are like in the driver's seat, they get shot out of there.
Krista,
I-
that was A, this morning, and B, you were drunk, not me, okay? Don't.
But I didn't write this.
Yes,
'Cause I
no,
was like,
that
that's
was.
But you thought that.
Yeah. But no, that is my idea.
And you know what? Probably 10 words you just used are on that Stanford list. So shame on you.
I know. It's like,
Shot. That's sexist.
Oh, wait, well,
women can't shoot
ejected
loads.
out. What?
Yeah,
Right? Is that sexist?
I swear to God, you wrote this.
I think you're drinking.
He didn't write the article.
Yeah.
No, but did you see that comment? Am I like totally?
Yeah, you are. Whatever you're thinking, you are.
You're blending reality with imagination.
Okay.
It's
I can't even defend myself.
Nah, Kyrie Irving is more lucid than you.
Doesn't matter.
Take us out, Krista.
That's it for Zero Fucks Given. I'm your hostess, Krista. Till next time.